Hi folks, this is Chris Voss from thechrisvossshow.com, thechrisvossshow.com. Let me ask you a question. When you're going on a new business venture, when you're starting something new in your life, when you're setting goals, or when you're trying to achieve something different, not getting the results that you've gotten before, and you want to change your experience so that you can achieve things better in your life, business, profession, whatever the case may be. Are you doing it, or are you just talking about it? Now, over your course of your life, you've probably met people that they spend a lot of time convincing you and talking to you about their idea. And time goes by 3-6 months and more talk, and they have this intricate detail of how they're going to go do this thing. And that person never goes and does it. You ever have that sort of friend or person? Maybe you. And they talk a lot. I mean, they're really good talkers about this brilliant idea that they have, but it never seems to really get done. So, there's an analogy that came close to me in life with a close friend of mine, and I'll give you an idea of it. And the story is just told to me is this person would spend a lot of time planning out this huge business, what they were going to do, and how they were going to manage it, and what it was going to be like, and and everything. And they would spend tens or maybe more, tens of hours, probably 100 hours on the stationery and how the stationery is going to look, and the font type on the stationery, the planning the proper name, the perfect name that you can use for a business, and planning, what the secretary is going to say when she answered the phone, and plan. I mean, they would spend hours with the basic setup of a business: the name, the stationery, the letterhead. In the old days before we had massive computers and all this sort of stuff, when you started a business, you had to have an office, you had to have proper letterhead, you have your pens and your, with your name on the side or something along those lines. You had to try and get the perfect name. Now so many people have the perfect name already that they've registered. It's a real thing where you've got to dig for stuff. Or if you're like a major Fortune 500 company, you come up with something that sounds like something that everyone knows, only you put like a Z at the end or a Q at the end instead of whatever it's supposed to be. So anyway, this person would spend a lot of time doing the prep work, and that's all they do. They talk about it. They'd spend time. They'd spend hours looking at the name. Oh, we need to change the font type on the name and all that sort of good stuff. And this person, for a large part, would never get these businesses off the ground. They'd never get them done. They'd, of course, talk to all the people. I'm going to hire you. You're going to be my secretary, and I'm going to hire you, and we're going to do this, and I'm going to hire, and we're going to do all this stuff. And they have very good, intricate plans. And it almost seems like the bigger the story, the more likely it is it's not going to get done. I, on the other hand, as a serial entrepreneur, have a different approach. I don't really care sometimes what the name of a company is. Yeah, it's kind of important, but yeah, when you go to the Department of Registers, most time that name's already taken. So good luck with that. A lot of times when we start our companies, the only thing I've been concerned about is the business model. How are we making money? How are we making profit? How are we going to do it? What are the elements that we're going to use? And that's pretty much it. Now, if you've heard my How to Judge People, the environment of the company is very important to me. How we treat employees, how we deal with the environment of our workplace. Those are important to me, because obviously you don't build a congruent environment if you don't build a learning environment, an innovative environment, an environment where people are willing to share their ideas. It's probably not going to be as healthy as it would be. So those are important aspects. But I got to tell you, I've planned businesses and actually bought offices and actually still not had a name for the corporation, and come down to within 2 or 3 hours of walking down the registrar's office in the old days, handing them the money, and still not having a name. Last thing I even care about is a letterhead or what the font type is. That's for some other department other than mine. I'm worried about starting a business and how it makes money. And if I could tell you, if you saw how many times I went to register a business without a business name, but we had the model in place, we were going for, we had the investment in place. We weren't sitting around talking about it. That's my point. We did it. So what I want you to do is take a look. Is there something you talk about way too much in life that you're going to do? One of these days, I'm going to do this. And that's actually another blog post you can catch way in the back, maybe 6 months back. Don't be a one of these days person. Don't spend more time planning. do. Okay? Don't tell people what you're going to do. Just do it. If you're going to set a goal for something for changing life, go do it. Don't go around announcing it and tell everybody. Just go do it. You're going to quit smoking? Go do it. Hand your last pack of cigarettes to a friend and say, that's it. I'm not going to do it. Now maybe you won't stick with it, but at least try it. If you can make a step into the do part, you're going to do a whole lot more than talking a bunch of BS, because all you're talking is blah, 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 and half your friends are probably looking at you anyway going, yeah, blah, 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 your stories again. So the best way to achieve a goal, the best way to get going on the pathway to success is to take the first step. And talking about it is not the first step. Doing it is the first step. So let me ask you something. What do you want to change in life? What right now can you do to take the first step towards that goal? Because if you do that first step, your brain's going to go, he's serious about this time, because he's actually doing it instead of talking about it. Thanks for coming by the ChrisVossShow.com. Change your life. Thank you. Bye-bye.